Welcome back to our SOVL Reptilian Kingdoms run. I think where we just left off, yes, we picked up our jungle swarm, couple upgrades for the boys, so he got his ability to reroll. Didn't get the Howder for this because, let's be honest, the 2 extra short bow shots is probably a waste of gold, I realised thinking about it. It's not really what he's there for. But yet we have no real choice as to what we do next, straight into the next fight. It's the Goblin War Party. Now remind me, yes, we took Salamander Aspect on these, so they'll be regenerating like our Triceratops. What we really want to do as quickly as possible is get the Jungle Swarm its own Salamander Aspect, so it's effectively 3 guys, so 3 units here, but they each have 5 wounds each. So as long as you don't take 5 wounds in one big chunk, you'll never lose a guy. So they can be made pretty bloody durable. So put our fast units on the flanks like this, you here, and then you just to be a nuisance on something. Okay, so we have Wolf Riders, unit of Trolls. They're going to come around here and engage my... So if we're lucky, I'm going to pass a turn actually first, because they've got so many more units than me, I can pass and force them to move, which is good because I can see what they're going to do. What I'd like to do is wait and see what that does, but let's see here. I would like to charge the Trolls and not have them charge me. I don't think it's possible, unfortunately, because their power 4, which would mean against my defense 7 they're only going to do I save on 2s, but if they charge me they got up to power 5, which means I'm reduced to 3s to save, so they'll probably win the combat. They have their own effective version of Salamander Aspect, which is regeneration, so they also recover wounds, but I think eventually we would win that combat, so I'm happy just to plough forward. I mean, we have the exact same charge range, I'm afraid, so I'd never really be able to outposition them. This shot is pointless. I should have shot something else, because even if I wound one, he's just going to regain that wound anyway. Okay, I now know where he's landed, which is good, because I need to see where he's going to go so I can get a flank on this unit. I'm happy to send my character into this one, the reason being I have a Raptor Aspect on him, so they have 2 wounds, but he'll kill one every time he hits one, so he's pretty effective against this unit now. So yeah, we'll have a fight there, kind of saw that coming. Now this unit will be busy engaging this one, so what we can try and do is get around... We got it. So we managed it. So here's this Goblin Wolf Rider's line of sight ends there. This is our line of sight. We can clearly see them, and it's going to be in the flank. So there you go. We got them. In fact, we're pretty much entirely in their flank, so that's a good charge there. And we don't care about that Goblin mob for a while. He's going to be stuck behind us. Oh, this Jungle Swarm unit as well. Yeah, we might as well just run it forward. It's a bit vulnerable currently to being shot to death because it doesn't have its upgrade yet, but it'll be more useful later. So charge-wise, so you're going to take that one. Fine, have to take him head on. Yeah, we'll have this one. If I can just get over the first round and they lose their charge bonus, then I'm fine. But it all comes down to the first round of combat here. Yep, we're okay. Might take a couple casualties of this one, but so be it. Probably not. It'll be 3s rerolling 1, so we're not going to take a lot of damage. They, for some reason, didn't shoot at me. Do you know why? Okay, so it's a bit of an error in the AI's coding, but they'll target what is effectively the closest enemy unit, but because the closest enemy unit was this one and we're locked in combat, they couldn't shoot anything. So they just spammed on the spot somewhat foolishly and didn't actually do anything. Right, in terms of our combats here, we're power 4. We'll go up to 5. Oh, if I used Warcry, it wouldn't matter there because it gets me to 6, so that changes that threshold. And then here we're power 5, we'll go up to 6. And then defense 5, so Warcry will make a 7, so it would matter there as well. And here we're power 4 and 4, which will go up to 5. Okay, and it would help. So Warcry helps every single combat, so we'll absolutely be using it here. They start making their way around, which is fine, I guess. Just makes it easy for me to... If we be optimistic here and assume we win this combat, we'll be able to side charge them, but they can see us. So if I'm lucky, this wood might ruin my plans here because it slows me down. I was hoping I can at least get far enough to get into their side, but I don't think I can quite manage it. Unlucky. If I could, then we can get a double flank. Okay, so here we go. So my character's going to hit them. I have better skill, and with the True Strike item we got last time, I reroll. So it's 3s, rerolling. So they go hit all 3 times. And then, because we have extra power, it's 6s, and because he has Raptor Aspect, he kills one every time he hits one. So he just wiped out 60% of the unit on his own. They hit us. We did 6 wounds, 3s rerolling 1s, so don't roll any 2s. Bollocks are 2. Okay, so we lost 2. We got extra success there from our reroll. But yeah, we'll be able to carve through this, no problem. They're all dead. We wiped them out. Not surprising. Over here. Okay, so they're going to hit me, and it'll be 3s. Okay, I take no damage. Good. Okay, I've won. There's no way they can beat me now. They'll never do enough damage to stop me. Admittedly, they're gonna keep passing regen check. Okay, so it might turn into a bit of a wet noodle fight where we keep regenning, but I knew that they had bad morale. So if I just won once, I could get them to capitulate and run away. So they did no damage here. I mean, we won by a bunch, so they should just run away. Unless they're all double one. Yeah, they've had it. And that was relatively straightforward. So we collapsed both flanks there. So they're going to charge me. Right, now I'm going to make a decision here. So obviously I can do that. Do I send the jungle swarm into the front? That might hurt, let's be honest, because I'm going to get all of their attacks are pretty much going to go into them. We have, look at the stats of the jungle swarm. So 2 power, 2 skill, 2. They're really bad. The only thing they have going for them is poison, so enemies have to reroll only 6s, but they'll be saving on 3s anyway, so it's not really going to add a whole lot. If you don't send them in, you're just going to get shot by this whole unit anyway. Might as well. That's what we're waiting for. Charge. Charge. They're going to twist and do nothing because, again, they've locked onto a unit they can't shoot rather foolishly. You can come over here. You have an option of what you want to charge. Fired at nothing. That's great work there. You're not going to be able to get to that flank of them, I'm afraid, so you have to be happy with that. Yep, so my character again. So he's got good hit rolling now. We just need more attacks on him is all we really need. Yeah, you see, so it didn't turn into 4 wounds because of Raspberry. It does double wounds against 1 guy, but because these have 1 wound each, it doesn't really matter. It's a way of balancing it. So we get lots of attacks. Oh, but they have terrible saves, so the jungle swarm actually does a good job. Here's the problem, though. Yes, we got away with it. So the upside is that we saved amazingly. That's an incredible roll. So as long as we don't lose a whole guy, so if we lose 5 wounds, when the round effectively comes to an end, we're not going to. It doesn't carry over to the next fight. You're basically just okay. So even without the regen from Solar Aspect, we'll be all right. Cool. So we've got quite a few options now. That's unfortunate. So because he's in his rear arc, it would be a rear charge. But we can't fit. So it basically means that we're not going to be able to actually do it. So we're not going to be able to get the Triceratops into the back there, which is unfortunate. So I have to make a decision. So I'm pretty sure they're all. I don't really want. Well, I've got 3 wounds left, and they'll only be able to attack me twice. So I think I'm safe to send him into the side, and I'll send him into the front because we will regenerate. As long as we don't take 2 there, again we'll be okay. Might get a bit unlucky here, but it's better than having him shoot me 15 times. Yep, you're not going to be able to really help. So we'll just leave that there, and you're not going to... Well, I suppose in theory this unit will eventually go away. They'll keep running, so you want to try and angle yourself for a rear charge. So you would be able to next turn. This is not going to be a next turn, I suspect, but it's worth a bit of due diligence there. So again, not great damage output, but we'll fix that later. They hit an annoying amount of times. I might actually lose one here. Oh, for crying out loud, that's outrageous. 5 wounds to a bunch of archers. Really should learn my lesson and stop engaging archers. They're quite scary. Okay, so it would have been better off just sending the jungle swarms into the side, and that's it. They're really struggling, these poor raptors. They didn't even give me a heal. I got stuck down at... There, okay, I'm back up to 4. Great. You're still a perfectly usable unit that size, and they're all full HP, so we'll leave those as they are. Right, in terms of next choice, we can take the elite fight or a random event. So usually you'd gravitate towards the elite, but if we look at what comes next, if you take this, you'll take a fight, but then you'll be stuck on a path that has no more fights in it. If you went up here, you take a random event, and you get fight, elite, and then fight. So that is actually the better path for gold generation. So we'll go up here. Circle of power. Okay, we just enter the circle. Right, so you get a choice. You can use spells. So Radiant Shield is An ally unit rerolls failed damage saves, so any basically becomes super hard as nails for a turn. Arcane Web is reduce the target's unit, so stick them in place. Stick one enemy unit in place for turn. And Hex of Ruin is reduce an enemy's defense by 3. Hex of Ruin, I believe, at least from what I understand from the multiplayer boys, is it's the most powerful spell in the game. It's really damn strong. Basically, turning off an enemy's defense for a turn and making them super squishy is unbelievably potent. I'm just a little bit torn between that. Radiant Shield's also pretty good for us because we're going to be re-rolling a lot of our saves, and what we're really struggling with is, as you notice, that we have great defense but pretty naff damage output, so making it easier for us to kill stuff is probably the way to go. Okay. We're just as we are, so we'll take a fight against a mining crew. Okay, so same deal. Fast-ish units on the flank. Somewhat hope that we get the archer unit shooting at this, because that will basically nullify it. You kind of want to make it easy for them to get through. And there's just annoying woods in the way. I'm not going to be able to do much about that, I'm afraid. Put them a bit further back to make sure that if they are there, they target that first. They're on that side, of course they are. Okay, so I get to go first at least, so I'll try and scurry you into cover here somewhat. And then just get ready to flank these later. So the miners actually here do have explosive charges, which is effectively the equivalent of a one-use grenade they can throw at us, which is charming. And if you have to shoot at something, I would really like you to shoot at this, because all of your damage will just bounce off. In fact, I could probably bait out their grenades. Anything you could fire into this would be appreciated. No, they didn't even bother. They actually just... They gave us a flank charge for free. Okay, well... Who am I to refuse? Stand behind the woods here, because we'd rather not be hit by that. They've made it so I can charge them pretty easily next turn as well. And then here... let's go around this way. Justification being is that I want to kind of set up some... this is a touch unfortunate. I'll be forced to pick between either the Warcry ability or the Hex of Ruin. So if it was on the other, if it was one of these abilities, you could use them both, but I can only use one of these per turn. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful about what we pick. Well, it should be fairly simple. If you're up against one enemy unit combat, then you if there's multiple combats that you would benefit from. Oh blast! I'm too bloody big to fit in base contact again, so I can't. So obviously everything, it lines up perfectly, and we can see them, but my guy wouldn't be able to fit there to align. So poor Triceratops is just too large to pull off the charge. And now they're going to bomb us. Great. We're okay though. We have pretty good saves. Okay, my turn. I'm happy to kind of basically waste a turn by doing this. Just put you in the woods there so you can charge stuff without... Pick something to engage. So I can technically reach that. You can... Yeah. I mean, that's not the one I would rather... Okay, they did 4 or 5 wounds instantly, so he's down to 1 wound left. So probably not going to be putting him into combat, let's be honest. Okay, other things we can do. Right, we've got some options here. I think, if I'm clever, what I might be able to do is get you past... Oh, this bloody wood is going to get in the way, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's going to scupper my plans here. I was hoping if I could just run him by, I can get him into the rear of that unit, which works. The downside is I then wanted to be put him like, let's imagine I got him to here, I can then put this unit into the side of that one and kind of crisscross, but because he's, you know, so hilariously slow, I think he can get stuck here. So I could still do this, I could still take this charge. You can come round here and try and redeem yourself versus a unit of archers. Maybe eventually we'll be able to get meaningful damage across. And then what do you want to do? I mean, you can start eventually making your way around here to deal with him. No point using any abilities yet. They're going to... Yeah, okay, and they just turned. So if I did do that, it would end up being... I don't immediately know why the arch unit didn't shoot us there. It seems to be bugged. I would assume they would probably take that shot, but never mind. Alright, otherwise, we have Salamander aspect. The problem is they're just we have equal skills, so they get an average of 6 hits. So you can before you engage in combat, you can do some mathematics in your head. So equal skills, so they hit on 4s. They have 12 attacks, so it's 4s is exactly 50-50 chance they get an average of 6 hits. Will be defense 5 versus power 3, so we save on 3s. They take an average of 2 wounds. Pretty much on the nose. So we on average we lose 1, so I'd probably rather not take that fight. I might as well take it. There you go. Win. At last, you'll win a combat, and here you'll take them in the side and deal with them. So I'll probably instead have you start coming around here with the hope of eventually. If I put myself in the my own allies in the way now, this is quite annoying. You're really in the way there, lad. I want to get into the side of that unit if I had any choice. Spoiler alert, I don't have any choice because this blasted jungle swarm is in the way. Next turn though, we'll be able to position our way around. You're going to charge me? No way, Jose. Yeah, it's actually a rear charge, so that's really one-sided. I'm not sending him into the side, he's just going to lose a guy for no reason and die. Although I might just get grenaded here, which will finish him off anyway. No, he's already used his grenade. Okay, good, we're fine. So here, can I get to the side? Probably not, so I'm not going to be able to avoid them charging me, which sucks because they've got quite a lot of power with their annoying great weapons. But fine, better than nothing. They won't be able to kill him, so it's just a question of whether or not I really flub a discipline check. Probably not. You just, I don't know, make your way over here in case they hold so you can recharge them. They are. Do we use some abilities now? Okay, so Warcry would move them from 4 to 5 to 6, which gets them to the crucial breakpoint, that's fine. And then here, their defense 4, we would be 4 to 5 to 6, so it wouldn't matter. The reality of the matter is here, though, is that they're just going to win anyway, because it's a rear charge. They're not going to be able to hit back at all, so they're just going to turn around. So what I'll do is I'll Warcry this turn. No, I'll Hex of Ruin that unit this turn, and then I can Warcry next turn and affect both combats if they're still ongoing. So this is 3s, and re-rolling, so okay, we still managed to miss, and then, yeah, so he just kills 2 immediately, and then the unit. Fantastic hit roll there. Kills a whole load. Okay, so they lose 7. I think there'll be a double 1 to hold on. Yeah, so yeah, Discipline 8, 1 rank bonus, -7 for combat. So this is now, as long as we get a good hit roll here, they'll be saving on terrible because we've reduced their defense to 0, which is nice. So I mapped out, so I should save 4 and fail 2. Exactly average, there you go, perfectly average rolling. And they hold on. My turn, I'm going to stop that. I mean, I could put them in the rear, but again, why would you do that? Okay, now this turn we are going to... I mean, either way, Warcry or lower their defense actually amounts to the same thing. Actually, it doesn't, because the Warcry would only get me to 5 and the defense 3, so... So what I should have done is I should have presumed that this is going to win. Game out this combat, so you should have Warcried the first turn, because with the charge bonus it gets you over, and then you could have Hex of Ruin and then Hex of Ruin again, and that would matter. Whereas this turn we're only going to be able to Hex of Ruin twice. Slight technical misplay there, I'll just leave the jungle swarm where it is. Okay, here we go. Yep, bit of average hit roll, which is nice, and yeah, we squash a bunch of them. They're all sort of what you'd expect, and I roll terribly. So we lose 1, but then the wounded one at least will just regenerate anyway, so he's still up. I mean, it doesn't matter now, the fight's over at this point. We roll terribly. Squash. They're going to hit us, it's not going to matter because the damage we take is just going to regen. It's just a question of whether or not we break morale. We don't. There you go, that's over now because they're never going to get through me. Might as well just put them in and bring this to an end. What you can do, you can hold the space bar to skip obviously the phases, but in these combats, if you hold space, it fast rolls it like this. So you just go through and through. We killed 2 Triceratops. We take 1 wound, but not really. Our unit kills 4 more. They lost. So if you know a combat's just going to be you absolutely slaughtering them, fine. if you're really, really, really impatient, what you can do is, I can demonstrate now, is you can hold the control button and hold space at the same time, and it will run through this fast. Done. That was the whole combat. So you can absolutely skip through that at lightning speed. Okay, we did heal one this time, which is nice. Didn't give us last time. So the riders leveled. Skill to make them hit things. A bit more move speed to train. I'm going to take the skill just because we need to consistently actually kill stuff we're up against. That's what we're struggling with. Triceratops leveled. Haha, that's... I mean, at this point, it's funny because we'd be saving on 2s, re-rolling 1s and everything, so we'd be basically like impossible. But I'd rather take the movement because just getting into position is more useful for us. We'll do that later, I suppose, as a gag. And the jungle swarm leveled. Didn't get salamander aspect. Blast. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. In terms of what we're going to take, the extra attack would only effectively amount to 3 extra, because there's only 3 guys or 3 bases in the unit, so it'd be 1 for each, so you go up from 15 attacks to 18 attacks, which is kind of Whereas if you increase the skill, practically everything in the game is at least skill 3, so everything is hitting us with 3s. If I make them skill 3, all of their hit rolls become worse and mine become better, and we get a lot of attacks, so that's mathematically worth a lot more. Healing, you're already full, and you're a perfect valid unit. And we're still trying to heal you to full, and we're still not there. We'll never get up to 5. We're just trapped here forever, I'm afraid. You have no choice. So I think, yeah, I think I'll do one more. Go on in, twist my arm. Yeah, we'll play this elite. I'm against Korgak. Excellent chess players, I understand it, Korgak. So you're on the flank. Well, probably rather do that the other way around, actually. Put that there so we can start doing things. You'll be sort of central. And then you can just delay, waste the time of whatever's over here. I could probably out-charge these, which is fine. I mean, they're power 4, we're defense 5, so we should be okay. You can just sort of head forward a little bit. Here they come. I can probably get a very easy flank charge on them. Get rid of the boars, no problem. And they've moved directly into charge range. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a side charge here. Although I'm pretty quick, so maybe. I could. The downside... Okay, I didn't want to do that because now I've basically... Oh, I got lucky. He can't get through the terrain. Okay, so I thought he was going to move over here and stop me, but he rather foolishly chose not to do that. So this is going to zip across, and I'm just going to get him ready to move up later. Fairly easy flanks here, that's good. So yeah, I can intercept and stop the charge, and then you can put a stop to that as well. So the trolls, I don't expect to do a lot of damage, because they're just going to keep generating, but I'm hoping to break their discipline, because they've, got really bad discipline. Here... They've annoyingly, by accident, moved into a position to rear charge my Triceratops next turn. Which I think I'm okay with, because they're not going to kill it, and unless I get a really unlucky discipline roll, we're basically fine. So I guess I'll just leave it there. I'm just going to happy to stall out here and position you to be a nuisance later. They come forward, this is the one I was worried about. I'm not going to engage that directly, I'm going to wait for someone to come help me, so let's just back off a bit. Eventually something will win another combat. In terms of our spells, we've got power 5 here against defense 5, so that's a bit grim. And here will be power 6 against defense 5. Okay, so adding power here wouldn't matter. So it's a question of which one do you want a Hex of Ruin. And between the two, so it would be valuable on each because it gets them to 2 and we'd be defense high enough, and it would get them to 2, so we'd be power high enough. So would we rather they break them this turn or they break them this turn? They're going to get recharged anyway, so I think I'll just get rid of the trolls right now and have them come into the game. So we hit, great. Okay, they get 1 save extra that they wouldn't have gotten if I used Hex of Ruin. Fine. They do no damage, still is by 4. Yeah, they're going to have to roll amazingly to hold, and they don't. So I'm glad that happened because it means I'm not going to get caught from both sides. the one way you could theoretically lose the Triceratops is if you got flanked by 2 units and then failed a morale check and got effectively destroyed. Okay, I still managed to roll double 1 and lose a raptor in an extremely unlucky sequence. Of course I do. You're never going to get that unit to full strength, are we? So they're now going to recharge me, but that's fine, because they're just going to stuck there, failing to do meaningful damage to this unit forever. I'm not going to skip phase, that'd be very silly. But I guess I can just move you around to start menacing him later. Interesting, he's actually prioritised that unit, which I think is a bit daft, because you've given me a free rear charge. I think it might be a side charge, we'll see how that goes. Do I... No, I'm not going to use any abilities now because we're not actually going to do any fighting. Triceratops isn't going to be able to hit them. Have you start making your way around to this flank? As they start, they're so quick they might actually be able to just get there immediately. Yep. Piece of cake. Yeah, they hit them just an X number of times. Whatever, who cares? Oh no, look at all the damage I've taken. Oh, they ran. Okay, you're going to run off the... Damn, he ran off the field. That's the one way you can... Okay, so if I'm really unlucky, he's going to... I don't know if running off the field causes you to lose all your wounds, or if he's just going to be fine on 7. If he's lost all of them, it's going to take me a long time to regain them. So I might as well charge the jungle swarms in now, because they're just going to get round on me anyway. They have discipline 9 fearless. They really shouldn't... The Triceratops shouldn't be failing discipline checks this often. This is a bit silly. I'm fairly confident we win this one anyway. So what I might do is reduce the Orc Warriors to defense 1, which would actually mean my snakes wound on 3s, which would be pretty incredible. But over here, I mean, I'm just going to trust you to win that regardless. They have their own version of War. They have what's not the version of Warcry. They have Warcry exactly. So their character actually hits the, because we're recharged them. There's no duel, so it just hits the unit. And then mine hits their boots, kills 1, fine. The Raptors kill 2 more. Their unit does a wound to the Raptors, but they'll regenerate because of Salamanders, so we're fine. And then my guys kill 2 more. So yeah, we just win by a lot on their run. No damage sustained, excellent outcome. And then here we have 15 attacks. We hit on 4s now. Well, and then they have to reroll 6s, and they fail all of them. Hey, poison being incredible there. They don't do anything because I've got 5 wounds. Who cares? And they run. Get snaked. Imagine losing a fight with, well, imagine losing a fight with 30 snakes. You probably would, wouldn't you? The Warlord leveled, okay. Tlargak, an extra skill would be nice because enemy units that you usually encounter are either 3 or 4, so getting to 5 gives you an edge on pretty much everything except other enemy characters, but that's pretty good already. And then here, I'm going to take a Raptor aspect because then both the character and they have that, so they'd be absolutely vicious against enemy monsters and cavalry. So there you go. We now can internalise that they would be effective against cavalry and big monsters because they can chew through them. That's still good enough to be a unit. Yes! Yes! The Triceratops is still full wounds. Okay, running off the board doesn't matter. You keep all of your wounds anyway, and we're going to eternally heal one guy off of this forever. I think... I'll save the... I'm going to be a bit of a tease and save the shop for next time. So there you go. So that's the end of this part. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see what's in the shop, then you have to tune in for part 3. If you did enjoy that, do like and subscribe. I appreciate it immensely. It helps the channel out a huge deal. So if you have a second, please do. If you have any kind of feedback or if you want to name any of these units, I'm still open to any of them that you want on a first come, first serve basis. Just pick anything you want. Or if you have any kind of other notes you want to make on the run or anything you want to see in the future, please drop a comment. I do read them all. I do hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.